Welcome, beautiful people. I'm your host, Lenny Harold, and you are now listening to Cosmic Radio. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into Cosmic Radio, and I have a special guest, as you can see, the beautiful, talented, creative, innovative dancer extraordinaire. This is not the only thing she does. We're going to go into everything that this woman does, okay? Because she wears a lot of hats.
Yeah. Quite a few.
A lot of hats. Okay? So, Cori.
Hey!
How are you today, boo?
I feel good.
Yes?
I'm honored to be here, blessed to be here today.
So, we are going to talk about today about your experience as a dancer and professional dancer. When I say it's not dancing on the pole, nothing against dancing on the pole because we like a little pole dance. But you are a professional dancer, classically trained.
Yes.
I always get that wrong sometimes. Classically trained. Okay.
Yes.
And again, there's some other hats that she wears, and we're going to get into that. But she's also a mother.
Yes, I'm a mother.
Okay. You's a mother.
I'm a mother.
Okay. A mother.
Okay.
And I really just want to talk about that creative journey, juggling your dreams and motherhood.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? That's a sermon.
Because I think that might touch somebody out here on this evening.
Yes.
You feeling that?
Come on now.
Okay. Shatta.
Shante
Okay. So what dance are you trained in? Let's start there. Let's go there.
Okay. So I'm trained in classical ballet.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trained, over 10 years. You can't see, but yeah, it's been a long time. So, ballet, modern, Horton, Graham, a little bit of everything. Modern has different aspects. Jazz, theater jazz, traditional jazz, street jazz as well.
Yes.
And then naturally, I already had the ability, but when the training happened, it was like,
right,
another lens,
right,
whole another thing,
right.
But it was fun. So yeah.
Nice. So what is it about dance that actually was your outlet, your creative outlet, the thing that connected you to it, that spoke to your spirit about it?
From the beginning or now?
From the beginning and now. Let's go there. Yes.
The beginning, I think it was just being exposed to at an early age, the professional realm of how everything works. Like
Gotcha.
The back end of like Broadway shows and films and things of that nature. So that all happened through childhood, and seeing those types of productions and the rehearsals, especially, they were fun, especially even with the musicians. It was musical types of rehearsals as well, not just the dancing. Yeah. So that really illuminated my soul.
Got you.
And I remember just I was young. I was like in the stroller still. It's like, I'm a big kid itself. But I would sit there and I would my mother would make sure she packed all my toys that I loved. Of course. So I had this tea set, and it was a plastic teacup and a little saucer. I remember jamming with the drummer, and he would just play around and, do his little da-da-da-da-da, and I would go. I was only about like 4 years old. He was like, oh, shoot. And my mother was like, oh, okay. Yeah. She's a little inclined right here. Yeah. So then it grew from there. So when the dance perspective came about, it was the amazing Gregory Hines, who's no longer here. Yeah. So he was like an uncle. Gotcha. And we went to see him in Atlantic City. And I forgot what hotel it was. Doesn't matter. Right. But I was backstage, and he was tapping a cappella. Just in a spotlight. And it was just amazing that you could see everything that was in him was just being enthralled into the floor. Wow. And the audience was just in awe. Wow. There was just silence, and it was just so compelling because he was just tapping and tapping, and it was just the rhythms and everything and how he was flowing with it. I was literally in tears. Wow. And I was about like 7 or 8 years old. And I just remember looking, I'm like, oh my God, Uncle Gregory, that was amazing. So that really gave me the openness with my heart to really want to be in that type of world.
Wow.
And the dance perspective really clicked after that, meeting my actual ballet instructor.
Gotcha.
Miss Lisa Addles. Name dropping. How you doing? Love you. She was a former soloist of Dance Theater of Harlem.
Gotcha.
So she was actually a sub teacher. We're not going to say the school.
Okay.
But the school that I did train in, one of them, had a teacher that I wasn't too fond of.
Uh-oh.
And even in the ballet world, I was not understanding the tonation of culture. So gotcha. I felt like I didn't belong there.
Wow.
So I was just taking the classes because I was fulfilling what was required through the registration
gotcha.
of that particular program.
Okay.
So I loved tap. I loved hip hop. I was sticking to all that, but I had to take a ballet class.
Gotcha.
And the ballet teacher made me feel uncomfortable because I didn't look like everybody else.
Gotcha.
So she would talk to me about my backside. Like, just, you have to tuck it in more, squeeze in more.
And you can't help that?
No. Okay. Pull up more. Do this. Squish your Oreo together. I'm like, and my mother was not having, they had little peekaboo windows. And she was like, okay. So she would talk to me after class, and I just was like so upset and felt.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, that's how she was talking to me. And I was like I think I was 2 out of everybody else in the class that were African American. So my mother talked to the person that's the head of the school, who's also a fellow African American woman. And she said her concerns. I couldn't get out of not taking a class.
Yeah.
So the following week, I go to class. I'm waiting, and I see this woman, beautiful mahogany skin tone.
Yes,
woman,
baby.
No blemishes.
Okay.
With her bag, bun, and I was like,
and give it.
What is she teaching?
Right. So I'm going to take this class.
So I go in there and I'm looking at her and I introduce myself, and she says, oh, your name is Cori Barnes? And I said, yes. Yeah. She says, well, I'm subbing today. I ran out the class, went to my mother. I said, Mommy, she's a ballerina. And she looked like me.
Right.
She's black.
Right.
So the class began, and I was just like.
You were in awe the whole time.
The whole time. It was like, where is she teaching? And then she wound up teaching just the adults. So for a long period of time, I couldn't.
Take her class.
But then it all shifted. And God granted it. And she was my teacher for the majority of my time.
Wow.
Training. Yes.
How beautiful is that?
Yeah. And that elevated so much because she was also not just a teacher. She was also a mentor spiritually too.
Oh,
She's a
wow.
God-fearing woman. So she introduced me to a lot of things of incorporating liturgical dance with ballet.
Nice.
And point. So she did that in her own ministry as well, implementing technique and implementing, ballet world in the spiritual sense. So that also fell on me too.
Oh, you was getting fed.
So I was getting fed left and right.
What?
So it really opened my eyes to so many things to be able to mix different genres.
Yeah.
With ballet and seeing how to explore it. So.
Which she does beautifully, y'all. If y'all have not seen any of these pieces, this woman right here is an animal. Okay? Okay, especially on them points. Okay? So where's your state of mind now with dance? Like,
ooh.
Yeah, let's go there. Let's go there, baby.
It is everything. It's food. It's food. It's nourishment. It's for my mental balance and stability. It's therapy.
Yeah.
It's a realm where I feel lost without it because if I can't express myself, exactly how I feel through words, the dancing perspective really definitely moves me to be able to express in that light.
Gotcha.
Because you get so much off of your chest, not only that way, but through your mind.
Yeah.
You feel more at ease when you're finally able to just purge all of that out.
Yeah.
And where I am now with it is more so about purpose. There's a purpose to everything, an intention.
Yeah.
So the purpose to the pieces that I might create or might experience, or even just taking classes, just being at a ballet bar or stretching, it's just like breath and it's important. So it feels very fulfilling and it feels like a completion to be able to function and get through the day or get through what I'm getting through. But it definitely is just, it's a need.
That's amazing. That just kind of just brought me back to our ancestors, how we used to just dance, and how they still do.
Yeah.
I don't even want to restrict it to just ancestry. Like they still do. They dance, and we do it just in a normal sense, like just to let everything go.
Exactly.
Let everything go.
Yeah.
So what are some of the what are some of the challenges presently? You know what? Let's back up.
Okay.
So in the dance world,
yes. Okay.
Let's invite everybody into the dance world.
Okay.
So what would be your typical audition process?
Ooh. For me to go?
Yeah, for you to go and for you to audition. Yes.
Personally, my audition process is crazy. Because the hard part is you're your biggest critic.
Yeah.
So my process would be knowing the standard. The standard for any type of audition technique, first of all, never goes out of style.
That part.
It doesn't. Even if you think so.
That's with singing too.
Bam. It does not go out of style. So to have that articulation definitely puts you on the higher ranking.
Yeah.
So I make sure that even if I haven't been in class, because being an instructor, that's a whole nother conversation. Right. Being an instructor, you're having to teach and pour out so much. So when it's time for you to, I got to audition for this and I have to see what they're looking for and what I have to present.
Yeah.
You have to really know, how many counts of 8 of what I'm going to project.
Yeah.
I can't let it be choppy.
Yeah.
I can't let it be and 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then leap and then split. And then do another batma, kick, and then stand there, then do a few turns, land. But you have to show your strengths.
Yeah.
So my thing is I deal with the strengths.
Okay.
So I can jump.
Okay.
As high as a gazelle.
Yes, she can.
And unless I eat too much. Okay. Stay from the potatoes and the bread. Making sure that my turns are great. I'm centered.
Yeah.
Also showing the versatility. So I try to pick a song that anybody could adapt to.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't matter what culture.
Gotcha.
So it has to be some type of traditional light, whether it's Broadway, whether it's jazz, or even if it's hip hop. Most of the time I'll try to choose instrumental.
Gotcha.
So that you're not in a crutch of utilizing the lyrics to carry you through.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
So I try to have at least 3 different types of styles of music. Then I implement not the same type of movements. It'll be the same types of things, but it'll just be placed differently because of the musicality.
Gotcha.
You have to make sure, I always make sure the emphasis of the musicality is there and I'm on that when it comes to what movements.
Gotcha.
So I try to prepare as early as possible.
Okay.
As soon as I know about the audition, sometimes it's, maybe 2 days before, maybe a week.
Because that's the world.
That's the world. But you always have to be prepared. You have to be in your bag. Yeah. So if you know what you're really good at, strengthen that. The weaknesses of I have to make sure I sustain certain flexibility or certain lines.
Gotcha.
I want to make sure that they see my leg when it's, behind me in arabesque, or if I'm doing a batma, certain angles that I have to be on so they can see the dexterity of what I'm doing. It's always like it's a show basically because you want to get that job. Yeah. And even if you don't, you still want the attention of who's there so that you can, for the future.
You stay filed in their brain she might not be good for this, but we do got this other project.
Right.
Yeah.
But I make sure that I prepare myself. I'm stretching constantly. At least try to work out twice a day at home. I'm not into the gym like that. But I have my own stuff, weights and, bench presser and stuff. Right. So I'm very repetitive with myself, even if it has to fit in 15 minutes in a day.
Gotcha.
Just being as disciplined as possible because your muscle tone, the way you want your placement to be with certain movements have to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want to show the best of you and not go somewhere, especially an audition, and be half-assed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not worth it. So that's how I prepare.
Gotcha.
And I pray, especially, because if the job is meant for me, it's meant for me. If not, it's fine. But I did my best.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. So what's the process when you audition different dances?
Ciao. First of all, I'm very specific.
Got you.
I'm welcoming to everybody though. I don't discriminate against any cultures, any size. I don't care what body type you are. As long as you have technique, you can dance. Whatever I'm looking for,
right,
is what needs to be in front of me.
Got you.
When it comes to the audition process with that, I try to make people, I give information.
Okay.
More information than most people would in hosting auditions for broader casting.
Okay.
I rather give gems of what they expect within the industry and how they're moving and what type of jobs they want.
Gotcha.
So if they're not right for me, I will take the time out to say to them, don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
This is what I think you should do because you have grand potential. I don't like letting anybody leave my face without feeling fulfilled and feeling like, oh my God, I'm really dope, but I just need to do these two things. Or I need to focus on, oh, I didn't realize that this part of me is better.
Yeah.
Or I need to show this more. Feel like internally that they aren't good enough pertaining to their presentation of like even freestyling. A lot of people freestyle with auditions, which is okay, but they'll overthink it and do the same thing, the same cadence. Or let me try to do this to impress you. Don't try to impress the person that is you're trying to cast to that extent because they're not doing that. They're not dancing. They might be some dancers, but the casting person might not be a dancer. This might be a producer.
Right.
So you have to show your personality of who you are, your enjoyment. And I feel like in this time frame that we're in, that is at a loss to an extent.
Got you.
So I try to tell a lot of the people that might audition for me that you really need to focus on knowing who you are. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Am I a fierce diva? Like I'm this? Like I try to implement certain things. Like you have to say these certain affirmations to yourself because you know. And when you're doing certain movements, you got to give that. You know,
you gotta get that sass.
I got this job. You want me? So they'll laugh, but I like to make sure everybody's spirits are high, even if I don't choose you for a particular project.
Got you.
But you're going to leave with, listen, you need to take more classes, or I can help you with that. If you want to take some technique classes, this is what you need because you're going to need this to do that. You have great lines. Like I'll give the compliments, but it's like maybe not right now because you might need this. So if you study this for a certain period of time, you'll be there.
Yeah.
And going into the industry, you have to, just tell me you have to have tough skin. But everybody's not going to give you the right information to walk in right. You need the right armor because people will tear you down and you'll never want to dance again. So
I know a lot of dancers that don't dance. They don't dance in the concept of trying to get on projects because the dance world is very ugly, apparently. And I don't really know too much about the dance world. I have observed the dance world. So from observation, it looks completely different, but I'm sure it's all the same challenges.
It's the same challenge.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate the fact that you actually feed into, you know what I mean? Into that person. You're pouring into them. And that's beautiful because that's not what nobody do.
It doesn't happen. And a lot of these people, and I say this, a lot of people get, I can't use this word, but a lot of people get, I'm just going to use the R word, but I can't use that word on here.
You can if you want to.
Well, people get raped in the industry in different formats.
Gotcha.
It doesn't have to be sexually. But you get raped pertaining to, you know, your internalization of representation of your character. You know, it gets thwarted. It gets taken away. And I try my best to state to them, this is what's going to happen. They're going to tell you need to lose weight. Or they're going to say, and I don't advocate that. I think however your body is however your body is. You want to tone it up, that's fine. I don't care if you're thick, tiny, skinny as a rail. But as long as you're doing what you're supposed to.
Can you hit this 8 count?
That's it. But there are people within the dance world that want the same type of skin tone, and the same type of body type. That's okay. The same, but you have to lose weight to do this. No, you don't. Or take these diet pills, or you know what, you need to be in the gym more. And taking away from the actual reasonings of why you're there and the purpose of why you're there. You have a gift. So I just tell people to be careful. And at the end of the day, the process narrows down to how many people. It might be 10, it might be 4, it might be 2. And we'll work to the point where I challenge them beyond what they can see. And if they last, they last. And if not, it gets to the point where you just explain to them, or the person or persons, that, this might have been a challenge, but keep your head up. And continue to push further, because I see much more. You have to get to that point to see that. And once you do, nobody can stop you. Yeah, you're unstoppable at that point. Yeah. Interesting. But now you brought into the conversation the same image aesthetic that so many people kind of negate, especially if you're an artist. You know what I mean? And I know, because I've been there with that artist requirement of what I'm looking for and the aesthetic that I'm looking for. Gosh. And it's restricting. Yeah. It's restricting. So that actually showed me the other side of it, because I know just being an artist and being on stage, there's a certain type of image you have to have. There's a certain type of body weight. There's a certain type of, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you don't think about that from the things that you're requiring from other people. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're literally the same thing that you're uncomfortable with is the same thing that you're dishing out to everybody that you want to support you behind you on that stage. Right. So that's a wake-up call. Yeah. That's a wake-up call. Right. Yeah. Interesting. Are there any challenges that have presented itself in the dance industry, like whether if it's the state of the dance world right now, or if it's, have you come up against any challenges that were really tight, like really tough on you, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Definitely. Like Cori is like, baby, we talk about real life. Listen, like we said in the beginning, I'm a mother. Right. And there's a certain standard, that I want to live up to. And there's certain decisions that I'm going to make. I feel like in the dance industry, a lot of, mainly dance, especially for females, is overly sexualized. It pisses me off. It's overly sexualized. Now, even in the ballet world, the way you point your toe, and if you're in a leotard that's up your ass, and you're covered in water, and you're, no shade, but you already know the project I'm talking about in the dance world. So you're covered in water, and you're shaking your head around, and, on the ballet bar, shaking your ass, nice and drenched, and just being sexy. And it's not about that. The culture of ballet has always been storytelling. Right. And dance, period. Yeah, I don't care what genre it is. It's like, it's overly sexualized. It's driving me up a wall. Listen. And it's becoming a program to where, and even with social media platforms, so let me finish the first point. Go there. The first point of the aesthetic of how dance is projected, especially for women, is overly sexualized. I have a problem with it. I don't like it. It needs to be definitely addressed, because you can be sexy and not have less clothes on. Okay? You can be fully dressed and have a smile. Come on, Annie. Okay. Never fully dressed without a smile. So with that, looking at the dance industry from the past, because you have to do your research and your homework if you consider yourself a dancer and a choreographer. Just know that, and an instructor. All right. That's very important. Know your history in every way, shape, or form. Okay. So when it comes to Hollywood, especially in the 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, very much so glamour. Yes. Right? Yes. Whenever the big deal was the gorgeous woman that would shut down a whole room, one scene, and she was dancing, and she might have had on a gown with gems, and it was intense, and it was just very and the camera was panning, and she was just like looking at the camera, and she was moving, and then the male dancers would catch up, and it was just a vibe. That was dope, and it wasn't overly sexualized.
Yeah.
You saw the dancing abilities.
Yeah.
You saw, oh my gosh, she's fierce.
Yeah.
There's so many dancers, especially during that timeline, that really broke the mold.
Yeah.
With presenting such an aura, with their presence and in movement, and it still was sexy, but it wasn't like, oh, she got her whole ass out.
Overtly sexy.
I see her woo wop.
Yeah,
it's in the camera, and she grinding in the camera. Wop wop wop. If I see that one more time, so yeah, get into this my gangster part. So yeah,
okay.
So when it comes to me, I'm particular.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that type of dance timeline. I enjoyed that even through the 90s, the 80s and the 90s. It was a completely different lens.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, you was getting a workout.
Listen.
They had the knee pads on, a little tight behind shorts on, a little bralette. It was still a little sexy, but they was, the fellas was dancing. It was a workout.
Listen, whenever anybody says the timeline of the 90s, why is the first thing I think of is the intro to Living Single?
Yes.
Because when I tell you Baby was dancing for her life.
My God.
And you could tell she was sweating afterwards because the way she walked off, it was like, ba, 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 da, da, da. She was like, woo, child. Facts. But it was a workout.
Yes. So the dilemma and the problem that I have is everything is overly sexualized in the dance world. Especially with any other genre, especially the heels, types of dancing and classes. Like to me, it's a borderline of understanding femininity and understanding your sexuality of your own essence. You know,
I like that. Yes.
With that, it's a line there because you don't have to overdo it. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
When I see these dance videos or choreographers or these, popular folks that people keep calling, call me. Lord, things need to change. I'm a pioneer of change. Okay, let's take it back. Let's bring it back.
Yes.
So. It really bothers my soul. And I feel like there needs to be a better lens to that.
Got you.
The second point is this dance industry is at a crux of not only confusion, but forgotten the whole work ethic of becoming an actual dancer. Of the classes, of the sweat, the tears. Everything is so quick now when it comes to social media and when it comes to all these different platforms that people think they don't have to learn anything because you can edit, you can do this, you can change the color, you can make it fast, you can transition, you could be two people at once or whatever. But people don't know the whole back end. You look crazy trying to prep everything and okay, did I do it right? And you in the phone like... So certain platforms have made it so that audition castings are asking how many followers you have.
Yeah.
And also if you have a certain type of account because they want to see if you're a popular dancer just doing stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
So, and then they pay that person that might be, I don't care how old you are and you're your teacher, but if you only had 5 seconds of fame doing the same movement, and then I see in the grapevine, oh, there's a workshop with so-and-so from this social media app, and she's teaching. I've been doing this since I don't know how long, and she's teaching what? You kidding me?
Oh my God.
And paying bills and just getting all the sponsorship. I'm like, have you gone to class? Have you pointed a toe? Have you done a flat back? Have you taken any modern jazz, street jazz, hip hop, anything? No. Work with any legendary people that's still here on this earth, walking and smiling, and on the platforms too.
Wow.
Have you done your research or homage?
This is so parallel to everything. So it's really just that, I guess, and again, I did not, I've been an observer. Okay.
It's crazy.
This is legit the same thing that happens with singers.
Yes, it does. And it's super frustrating because it makes you, it's also a slap in the face for those, and I'm going to say this, those who are very seasoned in their craft.
Yeah.
I've had to kind of say, well, I can't say that I'm a veteran. I can't say I'm seasoned. Yes, I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to say that because people are overly sensitized in so many things.
Listen,
I am a seasoned choreographer and dancer.
Yes, you
and
are.
Instructor.
Yes, you are.
Because I have been taught by those same people who some are still walking on this earth and some who are not. Yep. I feel bad if I'm not giving forth the same type of implement of instruction or power with my movements or presentation. Like it's a slap in the face for those who taught me. And especially for those who are no longer here. That's a duty. That's an ancestralship of a promise. And that's what's missing.
Yeah.
Like people feel like, oh, I can just get up and I could just drive a bus. No, you cannot. I'm going to just get up and be a dancer and put it on my bio. People could do whatever they want to now. And it makes it harder for people like myself who've been doing this for a long time and fine with it.
Yeah.
To either be overlooked or like, well, you don't have, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And then it's the pushing of the side of all of your training for your followership.
For your followership.
Yeah.
What the fellowship of the followership got to do with paying my bills and getting this job?
Right. It's the same.
So yeah, it's just the magnitude of everything. The aesthetic, especially these music videos with dancers in them. Some are cool. I'm happy with some, especially with Afro beats, the intricate hip hop and house type of music with African movements from different regions of Africa. It's not just the same steps. People have to understand that.
Right.
So that I like the fact that that's being implemented and being brought forth. It's a different look, a different element. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's not overly sexualized.
Right.
But a lot of these videos are doing the same thing. A lot of these requirements, there's some that I know they're in videos now. And I'm like, you're a whole ballerina and you're just going to shake your ass.
Yeah. You just... Listen, I mean, that's been the standard for I don't know how long. It's just, especially, and it's just females just clapping ass. And it's like, or bouncing ass or throwing ass or dipping ass. And it's just, there's so many other elements. Like we can get there's so much more creativity that's out there.
Exactly.
And no one's really pushing the envelope. There are a few choreographers out there that are pushing the envelope.
Yes.
But especially when it comes to Black music, we don't push the envelope
The
enough.
lens is the same. That's why, as an advocate, as an African-American woman, a Black woman.
Okay.
The lens about us, especially in the dance world, to me is an insult of how the way the standard is supposed to be. If you look up hip hop dancers, or something in specifics of that, it's going to be a representation and a booty in your face. Twerking is fine. It stems from the continent of Africa.
Exactly.
And it's in the Middle East as well. There's reasons for that type of dance, but those women are clothed. Clothes. Middle East, they have a hijab on, the whole gown. They're in a little tent, and they're getting they're getting the money thrown.
Right.
But they got clothes on.
Right.
African women, they get their little water. They got they got on clothes. You can still do that,
Yeah.
But either way, like you're saying, the lens about us is important. And I feel that if there's more versatility shown instead of just a stereotype that's twirled around to look completely different and overly sexualized, I shouldn't feel like me being a Black woman, oh, she's a sex symbol. I shouldn't feel that way. That makes me feel uncomfortable. I am strong. I am resilient. We are beautiful women. We are sexy, but it shouldn't feel like, oh, she fine as hell. She's sexy. What's she gonna do? Can she bend it over? Can she pop it? Can she do this?
And that stems from just sex sells. You know what I mean?
Bad.
And to be honest, that is marketing. It stems from marketing. It's a way to to numb your customer. Mm-hmm. And so that's the only reason why that has become this standard that people don't even sit back and think about where it came from. No. It came from marketing. Yeah. Like they were trying to sell you something. They were trying to, and in the process, also numb you so you don't think about it. That part. And so now we're in this state where there's not much creativity. And it only comes from, honestly, everybody else in the world. And we are we dictate culture when it comes to entertainment. Yeah. We dictate it.
Thanks.
Like,
I agree.
So that's, wow, this is good, y'all. Good. This is good. This is good because I'm an observer, but I guess I wasn't observing too much. No. But that's okay. Yeah. We're having this conversation now, and I am opening my eyes and I'm seeing a whole perspective, which then also hats off to Rihanna for casting all kinds of dancers. Because that was one thing that I adored about those Savage Fenty rollouts. Like, she had everybody in there.
No question about it. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those
shout out to Lizzo too.
The standards, the way things are looking, the presentation. It doesn't matter what you look like. It matters how you present it.
And shout out to Janet. Let's not forget Janet, because Janet would be like, I don't care, you hitting that 8 count like for real, mama. Get up on that stage. You know what I mean? So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. I mean, there used to still be, pillars of change and standard that keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen, because it has overtaken and it's upsetting.
Yeah. So how is it balancing motherhood with your baby? I can't even say your baby because he is not a baby no more.
He's not a baby anymore. He always will be my baby.
Okay. That is a old man, okay?
Yes, he's a whole high schooler. Yes, I am. High schooler. How is it balancing motherhood? I think that it has its ups and its downs, because on my end as a parent, I love it.
Gotcha.
It's not difficult.
Okay.
If you make it difficult. If you see what you're able to do, because all it takes is balance. Balance is the most important thing that I've discovered. Being a parent, being a single mom, it's like, okay, I have to do this, but the best part about being a mother and a creative, and with all the hats that I wear, is that there's more of a purpose because he's here.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to mess up.
Gotcha.
I have no room for mistakes. I have no patience for any type of mess ups, because I don't want him to look at me in disappointment. I don't want to disappoint him. That's where I am.
Gotcha.
So the way to juggle it is not hard, because the things that he needs have to be met first. So anything else, like, oh, I need you to do this. I've sacrificed a few jobs. I sacrificed one to go on tour recently in New Zealand and Australia with phenomenal artists, wonderful dancer peer of mine. She was in a visual we had just done not too long ago. Yeah. She called me up. She's like, oh, can you? I was like, I can't right now, but thank you. But keep me in mind for the next. I have to make sure that my son is settled because his first year as a freshman in high school, pandemic had taken over. 2 years he wasn't in school. He was homeschooled. With all that being stated, is an adjustment. I can't be selfish. Be like, oh yeah, because I need the money. I need the notoriety.
Right.
I need to put that on my resume.
Right.
I'm going to fly out for almost 2 weeks. 2 weeks. He'll be fine. No. Because for me, my morals and my reality is my life that I made.
Gotcha.
My son.
Okay.
So with him, things fit to where, okay, I can take this right now. I'm going to do this. I might have 4 or 5 different things going on at the same time. I might have to choreograph for an artist. I might have to, I have a visual project for either for myself or someone else. But there's a cutoff because that has to fit in there too.
Yeah. Got you.
That part of me has to fit in there because at the end of the day, he didn't ask to be here. But it's a benefit because it's the motivation behind it. So it's not hard.
Gotcha.
The only thing that's hard is what I feel, what I explain.
Right.
I can't mess this up.
Right.
So no, it's not hard.
Got you.
It's not hard. It's just being present. As a parent, you just have to know I have to be present enough.
Yeah.
Because time is going to go by. He's halfway there, almost an adult soon.
I hear you.
So it's a momentum. It's just a way to look at self, but also take care of you too. Know when to have a no button and say, okay, I can't, next month I'm not available. Or just because you have to be able to, get yourself back.
Work-life balance.
Yeah.
Work-life balance.
That's important.
Yeah, because, yeah.
But it's not hard.
Got you.
I love it.
Got you.
Cool. And plus he knows, like he's, been there when I'm having rehearsals and doing the homework.
Right.
It's a village.
Right.
Now the dancers too, they had their kids over there. Go in the corner there.
Right.
Y'all can play, go right ahead.
And do that arithmetic.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. So we mentioned other hats.
Okay.
So you also do, she does a lot. I'm trying to pinpoint what I want to jump onto. Okay. But you also are a yoga instructor. You do meditation. Yes. How did you get into this world? What was, how has it benefited you? Yeah.
How we got in tune with yoga and meditation. So yoga was introduced because when you're training to become a dancer, oftentimes depending on where you're training, the head of the, particular facility will state to you, you need to take on some yoga classes because it'll help with your flexibility. Yeah. Even yoga or Pilates.
Makes sense.
It'll help with certain lines that you have, to be able to sustain. So you should take it. I took it a few times. Right. I was bored, but I was younger.
Right.
And I didn't understand really the root and the importance of what yoga really was. So it did work, like flexibility, all that.
Right.
Great. It was a great workout because when you're at a ballet bar and you're doing certain variations, your muscles are tightening up because you're not dancing, but you're dancey with the warm up.
Got you. Okay.
So the intensity of having to hold your leg, even doing developés, I just do it with my arm. When you're taking your one leg is straight, the other is bent, it's in passe, and then you're going from that to attitude, and then you're going to extend it straight in front of you, either in 45-degree angle, they're gonna be tight. They're gonna be tight, the quads and everything. So
because that's a workout in itself,
right? So there's no time to really stretch it out. You have to be pre-stretched.
Got you.
So the yoga was going to help with that to keep that balance, so you wouldn't be as tense. I wasn't feeling that good.
You was like, it's another class, Lord Jesus.
Right, like, oh my God. And it was slow.
Right.
I was just like, oh my God.
Right.
So later on, I wound up bumping into it because of my own mental wellness. So I was going through a time of, working girl, you got to get a job and, you taking care of a kid and you got to pay for this, pay for that.
Okay.
And things working out, not working out. So it was a lot going on at the time. And so I wanted to maintain a balance for me. So I was, in between being home from work, the stresses of that, I was losing my colors where I was working. And I was just turning gray and everything was depressed. And it was just so much. And I was just like, it was a season for certain stopgaps of stillness.
Okay. So
I got into, let me just do the yoga. So I was doing it, watching a program on television would come on at 6 a.m. So I was like, oh, let me go to Inhale and watch that 6 a.m. And I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And he was dope. He was a dope instructor. So it made me feel good. I kept that balance going. But then there was another perspective because I always pray, but it was a perspective of meditation.
Gotcha.
So I started doing more research about it and understanding that prayer is meditation. But the intention of the exercises with the meditation, what it does for you mentally, for your breathing, and for your mind,
Gotcha.
and especially settling your spirit.
Gotcha.
So after the yoga session I would sit and just do some breathing. And then I started elevating into further understanding through study of that, how it really relieves stress.
Gotcha.
And I said, well, how can I give this to other people?
Yeah.
So I prayed about it. And this was like over a few months, like 6 months or so. I was doing it by myself.
Gotcha.
And I did little blogs about it. And then I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll teach the class. Yeah. You know, and God was like, go ahead. Go ahead. Go to this little park over here and early as heck at 8:30 in the morning under the gazebo. Then just go out there. And I'm like,
okay.
It's a little weird. It's a little random.
Right.
But that's how he works.
Right.
So I did it. I was obedient. I did that. And I was doing it for myself because I had to center me because I was at a point where I was all over the place. That wound up feeding other people watching and asking to join. So when other people were joining, I felt the extension of being able to give these tools to help, because at the end of the day, you don't know what people are going through.
Yeah, that's facts.
So the first few sessions, you know, they had feedback. Some were crying. Some were saying, you know, like, wow, I didn't think this was important for me to do. I didn't realize that this was actually going to help me. Because when you say certain affirmations to yourself, or when you lay out certain circumstances that are happening, and when you allow certain thoughts to still trailblaze through your mind, but you're breathing and releasing them, it does so much. And it might sound simple, but it's not. Yeah. It really just rotates everything within you. And I felt like, oh my God, this is something that is a need. And I took it for granted with the combination of the yoga, moving the body so it can breathe. Yeah. And taking the time in between of the breaths for holding the positions for 20 seconds at a time. Yeah. And then the end of having meditative type of feel and experience as a celebratory, but also as a release. Gotcha. It definitely elevated my spirit, and it helped me feel more centered and more connected with God, or whoever you believe in. Right. But also still being a tool to help other people and not knowing what their storm was. So really, it really is a full-blown aid and tool and food.
Okay.
You know?
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Do you find dancing... do you find teaching more satisfying, or do you find dancing more satisfying?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. That's hard to say. I think I can only say it would be both. I can't say either or.
Good answer. She did it
good. I only say that because sometimes you need... I'll speak for myself. Okay. I always need the reassurance. Because, not saying that I don't believe what I do is compelling or good enough, but we all have this lens where we view ourselves a certain way, even though we're moving forward, but you always want to be better than the last. Right. I want to one up everything that I've done. But in the midst, you have to realize, let me celebrate everything that I've done. Yeah. And be like, okay, this is where I am. I'm moving forward, and gratify it still. So when it comes to the dancing prospect, it's a release, but I'm also touching someone within their spirit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was taught from most of my teachers and my mentor today, M.A. Taylor, he always says it doesn't matter how many people are in the audience, as long as you reach one.
Mm-hmm.
You dance.
That's facts.
Beyond yourself, because it's a gift. It is a gift that was given to you, and it's a gift that you're giving out.
Yeah.
So that is a reward.
Yeah.
But it's also, it makes me feel it makes me feel like a new person when I'm dancing, because when I am, I'm not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a vulnerable. I'm showing my vulnerability, and that's sacred. Dance is very sacred. So I've gotten a compliment that someone says, girlfriend is always going to tell a story when she dances.
Okay, yeah, that's facts.
And it's not intentional, but that's just what it is. And so when it happens, I don't know. Sometimes I know what the story is. Sometimes I don't know if it is. It's just how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And the emotions will interpret that. So that's rewarding. And I just feel like a release,
Gotcha.
because I leave myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's amazing. When you come back, it's like, okay, all right, let me see it.
Yeah.
Is it okay? But then when it comes to the teaching aspect, that is an abundance of a reward, because you're helping somebody figure something out. Like, I'll use this analogy, putting a puzzle together.
Gotcha.
Everybody's different in how their eye is. Like, do you do the frame, or do you do the middle?
Right.
So with people, there's always puzzle pieces missing. That's how I view everybody. So when they come to class, or when they say, oh, I need help with this particular thing, even some girls that are professional, that, oh, I need to get back in my technique, or you never left. You just need to tighten up.
Yeah.
So a certain little things, it might be little, but it's a big deal. Maybe the posture difference, maybe, how you're holding, where your balance is, what you need to do to obtain better flexibility. Or just taking the time out to even look at you as an individual, and not just a number in my class or in anybody's, because in a lot of classes, you're just a number.
Yeah.
So I feel like pouring into individuals and seeing them for who they are and helping them put the pieces together is a blessing for me.
Wow. I loves it. That was the answer beyond all answers. I feel you though, because even when I work with other artists, like, I always try to make sure that they see themselves differently when they walk out from working with me. And I want to pull out your greatness and show it to you. So now you can see your potential. And then it's a power. It's something that's exciting when you're on stage and you get people excited, or you move people and you bring them to tears, or you just have them just forget about the stresses of their day in that one moment. And then it's also freeing for yourself when you just get up and just let it all go, because you personally might have been going through something, or not even necessarily going through anything, but just to remind yourself of the gift that you have. And if you're not sharing it, then what are you doing? You know?
And hence upon that, gifts you should never be selfish with a gift. And a lot of people take that for granted when it comes to, well, this is me, this is how I present myself. But you also have to give that. You're not really taking it. When you go, I don't know where we're going when we leave this earth. But what I've learned from a lot of people who have passed, and those who I love dearly, they had a purpose. Yeah. And a lot of them have fulfilled their purpose. Yeah. God willing. Yeah. And they were selfless with that. Yeah. And that is rewarding in itself, to know, okay, if my purpose is to give, and I'm also getting back, because you can't expect, I'm going to get back. Right. But you're going to get something back, a bigger blessing. Yeah. Because you're able to pour into somebody. Yeah. Because it's also a ministry. We're going to break it down. Okay.
Ooh, we go in there, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a ministry because gifts are given, the way that God presents them into your spirit.
Yeah.
And there have been times on my lows, even recently, I handed everything back.
Yeah.
And I said, God, seriously, I talked to God like he my homeboy. He's like, God, listen. You know how I'm feeling right now.
Been there.
I don't know if this is going to happen this way or that way.
My God,
I got to get out of my head, but I got to stop looking at this gift that you gave me as it being dented or it's not polished enough or it's not. No, you gave it to me, but I'm giving it back because if I am not right, if I'm not viewing what my purpose really is supposed to be, show me first. Before I'm able to obtain the responsibility to uphold all of these gifts into me. Because at the end of the day, it then gets shown. And that answer was shown. Yeah. Recent project that I had done. And it was just amazing how stating that, seeing that, and implementing different things into these young women that were a part of it blessed me so that it gave confirmation that no, your gift is beyond showmanship. It's beyond that. It's edifying people's spirits to really be able to feel the same way about theirs. And that was the answer I needed to fully understand, you know what? It's bigger than me.
All right. It is.
And that's how you have to view it.
Yeah.
In every way. If you're an artist, if you paint, if you're a singer, if you're a dancer, whatever, if you're an architect, if you're a designer, just know it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's
the quote. That's the quote, y'all, right there. And I'm not telling you, like, you should, everybody listening, you should literally put that somewhere where you see it, like on the back of your front door before you walk out of the house. Like, it's bigger than you, your gifts, everything that has been God-given and unexplainable, to who you are as a character. And it could be, and sometimes it doesn't have to be singing and dancing. Right. It could be the fact that you just uplift people. Yeah. You know what I mean? The fact that you have empathy, you know what I mean? It's bigger than you and it affects the greater pond of everything. You're that extra ripple that's going to move in that greater pond of everything. Yes. So it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. That is it. That is it.
It's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. No.
Yes. All right. So we are going to get to the ending. We are going to close out this beautiful dialogue. And y'all know what we do here at Cosmic Radio. We hit you with a little game. 10 questions, real quick. Okay. First thing that kind of comes to your mind. I mean, everybody usually takes a little moment to think sometimes, but you know what I mean? All right, so here we go.
Okay.
Crest or Colgate?
Neither. Ooh. I use Tom's.
Yes. Do you sleep with 2 pillows or 1?
It's more than 2. It's a man in my bed. That's not a real man. It's just pillows. It's a bunch of them.
Do you fold laundry right after doing laundry or you keep it in the bag?
I have clean clothes for 2 weeks sometimes in the bag. Fold it. And some not.
They just not up.
They're not up.
Right.
But they're clean.
Right. Got you.
I'm busy. I wear a lot of hats. And I'm a mother.
Okay. Oatmeal or cream of wheat?
Oatmeal.
Daytime or nighttime?
Oh, God. I've had to appreciate both, but I like the night.
Okay. Online shopping or in-store?
I do prefer in-store. Okay. But I'm not a shopper.
Okay.
I know what I want. I'm going to look, I'm going to call, find out.
Right.
You have it. Because it has to be tangible.
Yeah, so, I got you. Yeah. I got you. Ballet or hip-hop?
I have to say ballet.
Okay.
Hip-hop is, it's culture. It's in me.
Yeah.
But ballet, yeah.
Okay. Water or juice?
Yeah. This ain't juice. But I'm drinking water.
Sneakers or heels?
Now you know I do both. What you mean?
Very well.
But I do love heels.
Okay.
I'm a fanatic when it comes to heels. I was born in heels. Honey,
this is very true. She was putting on mama's heels, walking through the house very, very early. And then last question, dancing or on stage or in videos?
Oh, that's different. I have to say the stage. Because it's a completely different, a different feeling between the lights and the presence of the stage, the way that it looks, and the path that you're taking creatively to dance on it. It's like it's like an artist where they have a blank canvas, and the excitement of being able to paint on it. Yeah, the same feeling.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Cori, for coming on. Yes. Thank you guys for listening. You already know what it is. Until next time, make sure that you like, share, comment. Yes. You already know. And move in love, share your light, and be on purpose. Go out and hug somebody.
Yes.
That's it.